The story of the character for 2 is a simple one. Like the character for 1, the character for 2 began as horizontal strokes. Over time, the line straightened out and the bottom stroke became longer than the top. In modern Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, the character can mean 2 or twice. For pronunciation, the Middle Chinese ancestor of most modern pronunciations was ri. This becomes in Chinese, ni in Japanese, and I in Korean. Like most of the characters we cover, Japanese and Korean also have additional readings which are unrelated to the Middle Chinese pronunciation. Here, there are tu and tul for Korean and futa for Japanese. These readings exist because they are fundamental concepts that the Japanese and Korean languages already had words for. They then use Chinese characters to represent these meanings while keeping their original sounds. These native pronunciations are called kunyomi in Japanese and hundok in Korean. The Japanese and Koreans also use the Chinese pronunciations for other contexts. These become the onyomi in Japanese and umdok in Korean. Can we understand a stop sign if we didn't have the word stop? I don't know about you, but it's not exactly obvious to me what a red octagon means. This is the problem that faced the creators of the character meaning again. They already had a spoken language, but how could they translate this abstract concept into a written symbol? Their answer? Just give up. Instead of creating a new character, they just took an existing character that sounded like again and used it for both meanings. This is why the character for again began as a drawing of the right hand, because it was the character for right. The meaning of again eventually took over the character, and so they ended up creating a new character for right anyway. More on that next time. In modern Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, the character can mean and, also, again, in addition. For pronunciation, the Middle Chinese ancestor of most modern pronunciations was a gyu. This becomes yu in Chinese and u in Korean. It also became u and yu in Japanese, but these readings are not very common. Instead, mata appears far more often, although it is usually written with just the hiragana without the kanji. Lastly, the Koreans also say to for the concept of 10. If you had to boil down the idea of strength and power into a single symbol, what would it be? Big muscles? Dangerous weapons? Interestingly, the ancient Chinese settled on the image of an agricultural tool, the simple plow. While the symbol originally just represented the plow itself, it eventually grew to include the meaning of power, until the original meaning of plow faded away altogether. Perhaps this association of the plow with power represents the centrality of agriculture to society at that time. There is also the simple fact that it takes great physical strength to work the fields. In Oracle bone script, the central curve represents the handle of the plow. While the shape of the blade changes as the character develops over the centuries, the curved handle can still be seen in our modern character. In modern Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, the character still means power, capability, influence. For pronunciation, the Middle Chinese ancestor of most modern pronunciations was ryok. This becomes li in Chinese, riki and ryok in Japanese, and ryok in Korean. The Japanese also have their own reading of chikara, and the Koreans have him.